It is a substitute for formal or basic education.
Nice work. You chose if, and it is correct. America was mainly rural and children lived where?
Well picked. On farms is the correct answer.
Neighborhood schools tended to be divided by race. You chose 1970s, and it is correct.
What was the Port Royal experiment also known as?
Excellent choice. Sea Island experiment is the right answer. Named after a doctor whose first name was Maria.
Solid response. Montessori method is a valid choice.
He developed the first practical tape recorders.
Nice selection. The poll is the correct and valid answer.
When was Indian University Commission appointed?
Right choice. 1902 is the best answer.
The great increase in births after World War.
Clear logic. Your choice baby boom is sound and 100% true.
Standards for what should be taught in schools. Valid point. Educational standards is true. What famous person attended Perkins Institute? Great job. Helen Keller is the accurate answer. Who proposed the multiple intelligence theory?
On track. Howard Gardner is the correct answer.
Downward filtration theory was introduced by. Good job. Your answer, Lord Macaulay, works well here. Congress passed the GI Bill during what year?
Bravo, 1940 is the answer.
What was signed to end the French-Indian War?
Great thinking. The Treaty of Paris is the right choice.
When was the Harvard University established? Perfect. 1636 is the correct choice. What did all Asian Americans have in common? Nicely done. Racial discrimination is a solid answer. Which is an example of physical development. Smart move. Getting taller each year is an accurate answer. Who was responsible for opening an academy? Right again. Benjamin Franklin is a valid answer. Who introduced the concept of kindergarten?
Correct response. Friedrich Froebel is the most accurate answer.
Who could have studied at a convent school?
Oh. Good thinking. Parishioners and priests is the right answer.
A teacher training school in early America.
Well done. Normal school is the right choice.
Primary education started in Nigeria. Excellent. 1845 is a brilliant choice. Who was the first female superintendent? Smart pick. Phoebe Sudlow is the correct choice. The quality of being fair and impartial. Sharp thinking. Equity is the right choice. Where was the first Latin school opened?
Correct. Boston is the right answer.
Jefferson established the University of. You got it. Your choice, Virginia, is right. Thomas Jefferson wanted what to be free? Strong choice. Elementary is the right answer. Franklin fought for whose independence? Well reasoned. Of England is the correct choice. Dash does not necessarily lead to dash. Exactly. Desegregation integration makes sense, and it is right choice.
Wood's Dispatch was formed in the year.
You're right. 1854 is the correct answer.
Lord Curzon came to India in the year.
Correct response. 1835 is the most accurate answer. This led to increased STEM education. Well reasoned. Sputnik is the correct choice.
Grade 7 level occurred in whose era?
Nice work. You chose Field Marshal Sarit Thanarat. And it is correct.
Classes taught in multiple languages.
You chose bilingual education. And it is correct. What are competency-based education? Perfect. Bilingual education is the correct choice. Taxing the public to support schools. Good thinking. Kalamazoo case is the right answer.
What subjects were considered basic?
On track, reading, writing, and math is the correct answer.
What is accountability in education?
Well picked. Bilingual education is the correct answer.
Thomas Jefferson was what president?
Nicely done. An offer is a solid answer.
Who is the father of public school?
Strong choice. Horace Mann is the right answer.
Which colony was the most diverse?
Nice selection. Middle is the correct and valid answer.
Created the first female academy.
Great job. Catherine Beecher is the accurate answer.
Who invented the printing press?
Well done. Johannes Gutenberg is the right choice.
What is the moral act known as?
Smart move. Land Grant College Act is an accurate answer.
What are educational standards?
Great thinking. National standards is the right choice.
What is the value of 1 + 1 = 2 = 1 + 1?
Exactly. 2 makes sense, and it is right choice.
Views, which includes robotics.
Valid point. It is true. Franklin began the first what?
Good job. Your answer library works well here.
Who created the fountain pen?
Right again. Lewis Waterman is a valid answer.
When was Thomas Edison born?
Excellent choice. 1847 is the right answer. What are standardized tests? Excellent. National standards is a brilliant choice.
What is the global economy?
You're right. National standards is the correct answer. Froebel developed the first. Sharp thinking. Educational manipulatives is the right choice.
Who invented the telephone?
Solid response. Alexander Graham Bell is a valid choice.
In 1880, education was made.
You got it. Your choice, compulsory for elementary level, is right. What is a charter school? Right choice. Bilingual education is the best answer. Standardized tests became. Bravo. Mandatory is the answer.
Parity of esteem means?
Smart pick. Equal but different is the correct choice. Unable to read or write. Correct. Illiterate is the right answer. Required by law. Clear logic. Your choice compulsory is sound and 100% true.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format.
Smart pick. Contact Narayan Chengder is the correct choice.